What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Just a quick video for today, and I'm only getting a video out because this just popped up across my timeline / was told to me a little bit earlier and just confirmed now, so I was able to make a video on it. But Benoit Saint-Denis is fighting Beneil Dariush at UFC 322 Madison Square Garden. And then also another fight that was announced just earlier today was Maktabek Orbay versus Jack the Joker, the Crafty Hermanson. So we're just going to be talking about those two fights just during the intro, I guess I could say, because I ain't doing a recap for Perth. I did go 10-2. I was one of the best channels for this card on predictions. I went 6 out of 10. In terms of 6 out of 12 for correct methods. I got 6 out of 10 of my actual winners that I picked. I got the methods right as well. I picked Jake Matthews by decision. If he had not sold, we get another one right there. And I picked Musasa, and I thought I picked him by TKO, which he should have got, honestly. It's embarrassing that he didn't finish Colby Thickness, but I thought he could have got the decision. So if Matthews is not retarded / gets the sub in round 1, and if Musasa gets a close decision, I'm undefeated on picks. So on paper, we went 12-0. But regardless, good card, good job for Olberg. He should get a title shot next. Crute won, I guess. Crute hit some WWE shit. Vanderlei Silva got fucking colded. Vanderlei got slimed out cold by some dude wearing a tuxedo. So that's tough. But yeah, that's my Perth. Nolan, good win. I had him by sub on verdict, which was crazy odds. That Brando Pericic guy is the real Tai Tuivasa. Why does that motherfucker look like an upsized Robert Whittaker? Anything else of note? Rouston. That was a crafty underdog pick by me. It was a plus 150, but it felt like most people were picking Petrosky. That was crafty work by Left Lane MMA to pick Cam Rouston in his debut against Andre Petrosky. But the card was solid other than that. Nothing to write home about. But yeah, good win for Olberg. He should for sure get a title shot in his next fight. Whether it's after Yuri Khalil, whoever gets it there, we'll see. But for sure, I think with the win streak he's on, you got to give it to him. Anyway, let's get into these fights, and we're going to start off with the most recent one that's just been announced. So that is BSD Benoit Saint-Denis, LOZ. Bonjour, je m'appelle Croissant. Against Beneil Dariush. Lucas Tracy's having a field day with this. We'll see when he gets his video out. I'm scheduling mine for 5 a.m. Australia time. And I'm going to bed swiftly after recording this shit. But anyway, I'm picking BSD to win this. I know there's going to be some people. It's so weird that within a year, this time last year, 3 days ago last year, BSD came off the worst loss of his career by far, got absolutely fucking humiliated and just fucking raped by Moicano. And no one even considered him a ranked fighter. No one even considered him relevant anymore. And then since then, at that time, if you talked to someone before BSD fought Dustin Poirier, when Benny was coming off his 2 losses, and you said, how does a fight between Benny and BSD go? I guarantee you the entire fucking populace is just saying, yeah, BSD by murder, BSD kills him. And then the Poirier fight, I don't think actually decreased BSD's stock too much. It just kind of was a bit of a pump the brakes. But then the Moicano fight was really that's tough. But since then, he rebounded against Kyle Prepolek, and then his biggest win most recently against Mauricio Ruf. He's really got the fan perception back in his favor. But I still think there's going to be all these people MMA mathing it and being like, oh, Benny beat Moicano beat BSD. First of all, I think Moicano against BSD was the best he's ever looked in his life, and I also think that's the worst that BSD's ever looked in his life. He did have a training camp for that fight. He's spoken publicly, and this isn't just cope. This is correct. This is true. Documented information. BSD was training in his fucking garage for his main event against Renato Moicano, UFC veteran. Yeah, that ain't going to go well. You ain't just going to home crowd advantage or farm your way through a main event spotlight against a proven contender. That's not going to happen. So yeah, he lost to Moicano, got beaten up badly on the ground. But I think that's just a very much case of not slipping on a banana peel. But it's just like, I think we're going to look back in 3 years when BSD's like 31 and just be like, dude, how the fuck did he lose to Moicano? He would kill Moicano in a rematch. Like, that's what I think we're going to end up seeing. It's going to be like one of those, oh, Moicano won that 1 time out of 10 sort of fight. Because, yes, I know his get-up game looked awful. I think he was just fucking asleep in that fight. I think he was not switched on. He was not trained properly for that fight. And yeah, if you take a ranked fighter and don't train them for a main event while their opponent gets 8, 10, 12 weeks to train, yeah, they're going to lose, dude. That's just going to happen. So I don't blame him too much for that loss, and I think he's going to beat Benny here. Because even though Benny did beat Moicano, dude, first of all, he got dropped on the feet by him. He got tagged badly and dropped on the feet at the end of round 1 by Moicano. And overall, I think Benny is he's allergic to fast starters. He's one of those guys. These guys exist. These fighters who are just allergic to fast starters and they just get frozen, and you can tell they're not quite reactive to the fast twitch shots. And that was even prime Benny was still getting caught with fast twitch shots early on in the fight because he's just not quite like. He needs his, in my opinion, Benny Dariush needs his opponents to slow down a bit to actually be at his pace. So then he can sort of craft it up a little bit. Kind of Hermansson-esque a little bit, who we'll talk about in a second. But you kind of see that, like against Gamrot, he made him wrestle a bunch early, and then Gamrot sort of tires out, and then it's into a sort of one shot for one shot, slower striking exchange fight. And that Gamrot win has aged very well. I think stylistically these matchups are different. BSD is going to bring it on the feet. I don't think he's better served to try and grapple here. I think that would be a wasted endeavour. And even though, yes, he beat Moicano, I don't think either of them looked particularly good in that fight. So I'm going to pick BSD. Hey, the last time he fought in MSG, he fucking head kicked Frivola. Like, are you telling me that you can't see BSD either landing like a big head kick or landing a big hook around the guard and just catching Benny sleeping? Like, catching Benny not sleeping, but like catching Benny like not fully awake, like not fully switched on, not reacting quickly. Like, Oliveira just chucks a head kick out there and just boom, booms off his guard, rocks him, tags him, gets him on wobbly legs, you know. So I don't think that's like far-fetched to predict that Benny can get caught early. So I'm going to pick BSD by round 1 KO. Something like a head kick, something just like a big shot that should be readable, but you just see Benny not react to it because he's not in his prime right now. And yeah, that Moicano fight, like Kuya won, wasn't particularly impressive, and I think Moicano looks awful, and that Moicano that fought Benny would have got smoked by BSD, especially the BSD that fought Rufy. So I think BSD's back, he's got confidence back, he's going to be going into this with momentum, even though Benny's coming off a win, he's still got those KO losses. I know Benny got a KO, BSD's got a KO loss too, like they both had a 2-fight loss streak until they snapped it, but it was like, getting KO'd by Poirier in a fight where he had a lot of success and other factors, staff, etc., and then getting kind of dominated on the ground a little bit by Moicano, and then just almost getting stopped before the fight even, like before, not the fight started, but before he could even really get started and like realize what the fuck he was doing. And you see that sometimes, so I think this is going to be BSD, I think this is a BSD TKO on the feet. I don't think he needs to grapple here. I think you're better off on the feet with Benny. I don't think Benny's striking is like that high output or that crafty to where BSD can't get around it. BSD's hittable down the middle. He is open, but some of the head movement did look a little bit better in the Mauricio Rufy fight, so I'm going to back him to defend some more punches, to not look quite as lost on the feet as he does in moments. But even against Poirier, like he's still tagging him. I just don't think Benny has the counters or the ability to get him off him, and if he's marching him down, just big marauding shots, I don't believe that Benny can put him down and punish him like Poirier did. That's how you beat him, in my opinion. You got to punish him like the way Moicano beat him. I don't think it's going to get replicated again. I don't think we're going to see BSD get dominated and taken down on the ground again. I think his losses in the future are going to come to like a Topuria who's going to catch him because he's too open. They're going to come to someone like that. They're not going to come, maybe they would come to like an Arman in the grappling, but I don't think his losses are going to come to like even like a Gamrot. I don't think he's like an impossible matchup for him. I don't know. I'll see what happens, and if he just gets taken down a bunch here, I'll look dumb. But something tells me his grappling is so much better than the Moicano fight suggested, and I don't think we would see that result happen again. So yeah, give me BSD, early TKO, catches Benny, because we've seen BSD just overwhelm people and just catch them early. He caught Favola early, he's caught other guys early. He comes out strong, comes out heavy, and puts his load on you. Pause. And he explodes on you, and some guys just can't deal with the explosion, you know. Anyway, let's move on to the next fight. Next up, this shit is so random, bro. I woke up, I checked my phone, I woke up at the bright hour of 7 a.m. in the morning after fucking being out the night before, and I was like, dude, I'm not trying to be awake right now. I checked my phone because I couldn't get back to sleep, and I open up and I just see Mick Tebek oral by versus Jack Hermansson. I'm just like, which meme? I look at the top, I was like, which meme page is posting this? And it's fucking full violence, and I'm like, it's late September, dude. There's not some April Fool's bullshit going. Like, what's going on here? This is not some troll account. This is not Tony has died, you know. And then sure enough, it seems legit. Like, it hasn't been confirmed, I think, by like the big Marcel, the big man himself, you know, the GOAT, the number one reliable reporter. But it seems done. I think both fighters seems to hint towards it. So yeah, we're looking like Oral by versus Jack Hermansson. If you said name 20 fights that you want to see Oral by in, or that you think Oral by might fight in, like name 10 at lightweight and 10 at welterweight, even with the knowledge that Jack Hermansson was moving down, because there was a brief report of him versus Gabriel Bonfirm for UFC Rio, even though that fight with Bonfim and Randy Brown has just been pushed back and is now main eventing a card. I need to do a video on those two Apex cards, because that's tragic that Bonfim Brown it's gone from the feature fight of a fight night to main eventing an Apex card. Like, dismal behavior. That's what Apex cards have become. Genuinely just like random throwaway fights from other events that they just move to an Apex card. They're like, oh, that'll fucking... It has a ranked male fighter. Good enough. Like, we're gonna get days where we get literally the Alexia Tainara Loma Lookbooms of the fucking sport as, like, co-main or main events. Like, it's gonna be tragic. But, I mean, I guess I'm picking Oral by just because Hermansson's gone off a brutal KO loss and just isn't particularly good at anything. He's just solid. He's just a real craftsman, you know. I'm curious what Lucas's take's going to be for this, because this is a real crafty Hermansson matchup here. I could see him winning this. I really could. And that's a real thing. Jack Hermansson, he's got a nasty jab. He's a crafty vet. You can't, you can't count Hermansson out, because Oilby's not a guy with like thunderous KO power either. So it's not like I can bank on like a flatline KO from Oilby unless Hermansson's chin's just cooked. Because we have seen Oilby get a few KOs on the regional scene, not in the UFC though. He's just been running that takedown, like just chain wrestle kind of drown you game. Which, is that going to work against Hermansson, who's going to be physically way bigger than him? I will say, if these two look even like remotely close to the same weight class, with literally a 30 pounds difference, like Jack Hermansson's entire basically career in the UFC has just been at 185, right? That's been the back end of his UFC career. 185 pounds. My Tobacco All by a year ago made 155 pounds again, like a year and a bit ago, made up 155 in a fight with Elvis Brenner, right? So we're looking at like last year, this time like 16 months ago, right? We're looking at a guy who was fighting a 155 and a guy who's still currently, or was in his last fight, at 185, and they're now going to meet 15 pounds apart. Or they're now going to, one's given up 15, one's going down 15. And we're seeing Oilby back up to 170. We saw him against Uros Medic in the debut, where he honestly had his best performance of his career. The Tafiq performance was good too, but we just kind of don't know if Tafiq's any good. But we'll see. If he goes out there and ragdolls Hermansson, that's a problem, because maybe it's the weight cut that's costing him, and making him look a bit more mid, because his striking hasn't looked particularly impressive. So I could see Hermansson crafting this up and jabbing his way to a win. But I'm gonna go oral by. But this is a weird ass fight. If the odds are wide on this, I would like this should be like minus 160, minus 170 oral by. Not like I could see this being like minus 400. Speaking of odds, Joel Alvarez is minus 300 against Vicente Luque the last time I checked. Opened at minus 400. Some interesting individuals, I don't know who, have bet money on Vicente Luque. I thought Alvarez, I saw minus 400, I'm like, oh, I'm about to click on this, it's going to be like minus 900. No, minus 300. So, I have often been a curse, anytime I say, these odds are so free, bet a bunch of money. Like, I remember Despain against Waldo Cortez Acosta. I said, what are these odds? Why are they like not that? Why is Despain not like minus 500? He's Despain, like surely, and then he got smoked. So maybe that's the left lane curse of just saying, and it's happened a few other times of like why the odds like this, but genuinely I don't see a way Luque can win this. I don't. So interesting stuff. I think Volta Walker, again, these fighters are coming down in odds. Volta Walker was like open to minus like 375. He's come down to like minus 280 against Usman. Like, I don't know, people are betting money on these guys. I don't understand it. But at the time you're watching this, it probably would have ballooned up to like minus 500. But I'm confident enough to bet Alvarez at anything under like minus 700, honestly. Anyway, side bit of Alvarez glaze there as well. Looking forward to that fight. Anyway, that will do it, guys. Just a short video for today. Hope you enjoyed. Just 2 fights to discuss and a brief recap of the UFC Perth card. Let me know in the comments, what are your predictions for these 2 matchups. Obviously 320 fight week right now. I think my next video after this will probably be the picks, unless there's something other big news that comes up. But this week I can probably hit some more daily videos. Not every day, but I don't have work the next couple of days, so I should be able to get some vids out. So anyway, let me know what videos you guys want to see. I'll do some of the suggestions in the comments within reason. And yeah, goodbye.